everyone! Having some slight trouble. I'm trying this ball today because I got done helping Chrono with stuff. But yeah. Where should I put this? How should I say this? I did see a funny thing the other day where someone said, finally a normal VTuber on one of my videos. I just... There's no such thing as a normal VTuber. We're all crazy people. With many, many issues. I mean, look at me. I don't look normal to you. But being normal's overrated anyway. So, hello everyone. I think it was either one person or a few people wanted me to check out Solless Prime, the first female Transformer. Well, not technically ever, but in lore, I guess. Was it RC or was it Alita that was the first one? Well, you guys can tell me down in the comments. I know we watched both videos for RC and for... Well, you know, for Alita. The RC video got, well, Fable did that one. That's over on his channel if you want to check that out. But I do remember the Alita one. It's been a while, so I don't quite remember which one came first. Either way, we're going to head into this. All I know is Solus is the one that forged a lot of the weapons. So we'll see what else they do here. Oh yeah, I forget the stupid... My own stupidity strikes again. But also make sure to check out Chris McFilly's channel. I'd be surprised if you didn't come there first and then come here, honestly. You make some amazing stuff. He also has a very nice voice for this kind of thing, I will not lie. Anyway. That does remind me of the fact that one person said I would make a good announcer voice for stuff, but I didn't believe them for 1 second. Anyway, Solless Prime.
The Age of the Primes continues. This episode, we're once again heading into the distant past of Cybertron for a look at another of the original Transformers. These are the basics on the tragic story of Solless Prime.
Solless Prime.
Solless Prime was an original character created and developed by Hasbro designer Aaron Archer and the staff of the company's HasLab creative division in the late 2000s, as part of the new mythology they were putting together for the Transformers universe. In this story, Sollus was one of a group of 13 divine warriors known as the Primes, the first Transformers, created at the dawn of time by the god of light, Primus, to aid him in his battle against his evil brother, the dark god, Unicron. Like Pandora, the first woman in Greek mythology, Sollus was the first female Transformer, the ancestor of all modern-day female Cybertron.
That's interesting on itself that she is the ancestor of all female Transformers throughout the universe, but I do not remember Pandora ever being the first woman in Greek mythology anywhere. And this is someone that's looked a lot into Greek mythology. I don't remember that ever being said anywhere. I could be wrong, I could be misremembering, but all my readings through any mythology through Greek, that Pandora, she is just the one that happened to open the box set in front of her, holding all the world's fears and hope.
Tronians. And as such, an early working name for the character was Pandora Prime.
A little too on the nose.
The mythology HasLab created served as the foundation of the Aligned continuity, a multimedia project of interconnected series and stories that ran throughout the 2010s. Sollus herself first appeared in a flashback in the 2011 Transformers Prime episode, One Shall Rise Part 1. More information about her was provided by the novel Exiles, released a few days later, and her full story was then told in the 2013 guidebook, The Covenant of Primus. As detailed in The Covenant, Sollus was the fourth of the Primes created, and the only female member of the group. She was a calm, confident bot, beloved by her siblings for her intelligent and supportive nature. But she was also stubborn and easily angered by injustice. Sollus was the Cybertronian answer to the Greek god Hephaestus. She was the blacksmith of the Primes,
that's what we've heard before.
Artisan and craftswoman beyond compare, designing weapons and tools with a holographic lathe projected from her body. and crafting them with her mystically powered forging hammer, known in legend as the Forge of Solless Prime.
Is
Solus
that
used her
around
abilities to fashion
elsewhere?
signature artifacts of
Yeah,
incredible,
here we go.
otherworldly power for her brothers. But her mightiest creation was for Megatronus, the 12th Prime,
Really?
who requested that she make him a gun able to channel the power of suns.
What?
Solus was initially reluctant, fearing that a
That
weapon
is
so powerful could
insane.
only corrupt its wielder. But, trusting in Megatronus, she ultimately agreed and
Big
built for
mistake
him
there.
the Requiem Blaster.
Ah.
With the power of the blaster on their side, the Primes were able to
I will remember this. I forgot that they named some stuff after some stuff from earlier Armada, like the Requiem Blaster, the Star Saber. Is the Skyboom shield anywhere around here? Is that a thing that she made? That would be interesting. I feel like that's a weapon that Optimus would wield, honestly. But that's just a me thing.
defeat Unicron, and in the peace that followed, Solus and Megatronus fell in love. In time, however, the lovers fell prey to the schemes of their wicked brother,
Of course.
Liege Maximo,
The
who
Loki.
sought to turn the Primes against one another for his own evil ends.
Because of course.
Planting seeds of distrust, Maximo manipulated Solus and Megatronus into an argument, during which Solus demanded Megatronus return the Requiem Blaster to her, since with
he returned
Unicron
it.
defeated, there was no longer a need for it. Enraged by this implied lack of trust, Megatronus refused, and the argument escalated into a physical fight, until, in the heat of the moment, unthinking, Megatronus fired the blaster, killing Solus with the very weapon she had created. Inexplicably, Solus's spilled blood reacted with the surface of Cybertron, and her body melted into the planet, carving
Becoming one
a
with it.
huge pit all the way to its core. Solus's
What does that
death
mean?
shattered the Prime's brotherhood, and they fell to violent, destructive infighting. Those who survived, shamed by their actions, decided that their time as stewards of Cybertron was over, and chose
Makes
to open the
sense.
way for a new race of beings to take their place. Combining their talents, powers, and artifacts, they turned the pit left by Solus's passing into the Well of All Sparks, a font of life through which Primus gave
that's
birth
where that came
to
from.
the Transformer race. Every Cybertronian that emerged from the well was patterned after one or more of the Primes. Those born of Solus's pattern became the
female.
female Transformers of
like
today.
Arachne over there.
Check out the basics
know
on
that one.
female Transformers if you want a more detailed look at the workings of Cybertronian gender.
Maybe
Though
later.
she was no more, Solus's influence was still felt in other stories. Exiles
Such as?
saw the Autobots and Decepticons hunting on alien worlds for lost weapons Solus had created.
Yeah, that
while
makes sense.
Transformers Prime showed what became of her forge.
Oh,
hidden
that
away
is her
by
hammer.
brother Prime, Alpha Trion, who eventually sent it to Earth to aid the Autobots battling there. After the last vestiges of its power of creation,
I will say that I don't really like the design of the hammer. It looks too toyetic even for me. I feel like I liked how it looked when she was wielding it. More like a forge hammer than a weapon hammer. But that's just me. He's probably going to explain why it doesn't look like that anymore. I just prefer that design than the other. But, you know.
were used up. The forge was wielded by Autobot Ultra Magnus as a conventional warhammer, and several toys of the character included the relic as an accessory.
Cool.
Following its introduction by the aligned continuity, the story of the Primes has become a cornerstone of Transformers lore, reflected
Honestly,
in virtually
kinda nice.
every series produced since, which have each reinterpreted the legend of Solus and her brothers in their own unique way.
Like Transformers 1.
For instance, in the version of the story seen in 2018's Power of the Primes cartoon, Solus's death was caused when the Requiem Blaster accidentally went off when she and Megatronus were wrestling over it. Racked with
Silly.
guilt over the death of his love, Megatronus began an insane plan to resurrect Solus, combining the powers of the artifacts
so
of the
goofy.
Primes to restore her to life by draining the sparks of the entire Cybertronian race.
Oh,
But Solus
no.
didn't want to live at the expense of others, and when an allied team of Autobots and Decepticons foiled Megatronus' plan, Solus's spirit dragged Megatronus into the afterlife with her.
Oh.
The Power of the Primes toy line, meanwhile, told
I
a
never
different
saw the
story
Power
to
of
the
the
cartoon,
Prime show. Was
presenting
that the
a world
Netflix
in
one?
which the sparks of the Primes were reborn in tiny robots known as Prime Masters. These robots could grant the powers of the Primes to other Transformers, a gimmick represented by the figures.
Honestly, this just makes me think of the mini-cons once again. Do you guys also think that's basically the mini-cons? But again, that's just my main idea from this, because that's the one thing I'm getting from this. Other than that, Solus seems alright. I do think it's kind of goofy that it went off by accident. Like, if they were in a larger struggle right there, that would make more sense, like they were angry about, and then it suddenly goes off and he's like, oh, I didn't mean to, that works a bit better, but just having it go off randomly like that feels a bit too goofy for, like, something mythological. You know what I mean? The way they're holding it did not make it look like it could have hurt her right there.
Transforming into Spark mode and plugging into the larger toys in the line. To hide their power from detection, the Prime Masters concealed themselves within
protectors.
armored shells.
Yeah, we get
the
this
Solless
again.
Prime Master shell was based on the Decepticon pretender Octopunch, and could also
Octopunch?
convert into a weapon that larger
Pretty much
toys
the
could
basics on
wield.
Octopunch.
Additionally, a silver and blue recolor of the Prime Master without
Repugnus.
the shell was available later in the year, packaged with the Autobot Monsterbot, Repugnus.
Repugnus, we've been over him.
Comic books from IDW Publishing
Okay,
offered a
I
notably
really like
different
this
take on the
design.
story, in which Solus and the Primes weren't actually the first Transformers,
Oh, yeah,
but
this
rather
again.
tribal leaders on prehistoric Cybertron, whose great
I
deeds
don't really like
inspired
this.
legends about them. Here, Liege Maximo manipulated Megatronus into fighting Prima, leader of the Primes, rather than Solus. And Solus died when she rushed in to help Prima, and Megatronus impaled her on Prima's sword, the Star Saber. IDW stories depicted Solus as being especially venerated by the people of the Cybertronian colony on the planet Caminus, who built
Interesting.
a religion around her.
I kind of like this design, not gonna lie. It does
The
make me
most
think
recent
of...
tellings of the Prime story have moved
Okay.
even further away from
They move even further away from that? Where is the scene? I wanted to get a good look at it because I was about to say that design kind of reminded me of... There we are. This design kind of reminds me of... I don't know if anyone remembers the... Was it the Prophets from Halo? Just in terms of, like, the way the punched back with the spikes sort of look. If anyone gets what I mean with their thrones. Yep, I'm probably just shooting blinks over here and not knowing where we're going on. But anyway, yeah, I kind of like the
religion
design of
around
that.
her. The most recent tellings of the Prime story have moved even further away from the tragic Greek myth of the aligned continuity,
Okay, in
and dropped
what way?
the whole idea of Solus dying at Megatronus' hands.
Huh.
For example, in the new continuity introduced when IDW rebooted their comics in 2019, Solus was one of the last Primes known to be active on Cybertron, and legend claimed it was she who was responsible for creating the first of the Transformer race
Interesting.
using her own forge. In the 2024 movie,
Never really thought about
Transformers
that.
1,
Ah, here we go.
Solus and the
I know
Primes
this
were
one.
the rulers
There's
of
Victor.
Cybertronian civilization, defending their planet against
And
the
there's
invading
Solus.
forces of the evil aliens, the Quintessons. But they
Yeah.
were betrayed by their aide, Sentinel, who lured them
Yep.
into a trap and killed them all in one fell swoop in order to usurp their rule of the planet.
Because of course he did.
Also in 2024, the Transformers Legacy
Oh,
toy line made
that's
a
kinda
quirky
cool.
contribution to Solus's history when it introduced Malleus Minotaurus, a tiny robot who converted into a blacksmith's hammer, who had served as Solus's personal.
I kind of like this idea. like the idea that their weapons were so powerful that they themselves gained sentience and became a sort of Transformers. I don't know. I think that's a cool idea. Just having them transform weapons, not just guns or whatnot, but have them transform due to everything they've been through. It's interesting to me. It's like Thor's hammer having actual agency. At least to me.
Assistant. Then, in 2025,
oh, she got
the
a toy.
first true toy of Solless Prime herself was finally released as part of the Prime-centric toy line, Age of the Primes. Based closely on her appearance in the Power of the Primes cartoon, the figure included her famous Forge hammer and transformed into a Cybertronian off-road car, marking the first time Sollus has actually been depicted with an alternate mode. The story of this series once again implies a version of the legend in which Sollus didn't die, but lived to bring the Well of All Sparks online with her brothers. And so, whether it's in life or in death, Solless Prime remains a forger, a builder, a maker, the ultimate representation of the creative spirit of Primus himself.
Cool.
And those are the basics on Solless Prime. Share your thoughts on her legend in the comments, and be sure to subscribe and check out my archive for lots more.
It is interesting how they're doing different interpretations of her legend, basically making it where, no, she did survive and she did do stuff over here. So yeah. I just want to say thank you all so much for coming by. If you guys want more, what episodes do you want me to watch? Please support Chris McFeely with his wonderful Transformers information. Honestly, I kind of wish someone made this kind of videos for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If someone does, please tell me down below. I am curious, because while I know a bit about the TMNT, I do not know as much as I wanted. So, thank you all so much. If you like what I'm doing here, please, please, please consider following, consider liking, consider subscribing. It tells me how much you want more of this. It tells me that I can do better. And it tells me how much you guys want to do more. But yeah, if you want to support me very, very much and definitely want to see more, then head over to the Patreon. We are watching G1 over there and the Beast Wars, which are two series I never really got to watch as a kid. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye, and take care of yourselves, because it's a hot summer.